blimey. Thank you. One of the things about it, I think I'm just a lad from Blackburn, and so I don't know about Illustrious and all those stuff. The important thing is never to forget where you're from, I think, isn't it? And who you are and what your values were. So, goodness me, so I put my 10 speeches away, Mohammed, 10 pages away, and so I thought, I prepared something on the way because I've been asked to talk about partnerships and engagement, and I will say something about that in a second. But can I just pick up on Neil's theme about looking this way to Darwin and that way into Blackburn? And so I was 60 last year. I was born in 1955. My father is still alive, who I saw last night, is 85. I think there's some people in the room that know him. And so that means he was born in 1930. So my guess is, if you look at the incidence of dementia in the population, and in a population like Blackburn, that the people that are going to come here are going to be of his generation, those that are still alive. I think he's doing daycare by GP attendance, whereas Chris, and funerals at the minute. But anyway, that seems to be how he spends his day. But actually, if you just look at that generation and look at Blackburn's heritage going back to the Mayor's chain and you know, the slogan of Ortiat the Boar, and the way that Blackburn has been built and its tradition and its heritage, and all of you in this room that have been born and brought up here, then you'll know that textiles are a huge part of Blackburn's heritage. But you'll also know, and I notice it every time I come back, and I drove through Rowley the other day, last Friday, to get a bottle of wine. I probably shouldn't say that, but I was down there, and that was the only place that was open at 10 o'clock, so I went down. And that miller's gone now. And for me, that was a huge symbolic shift in my perception of Blackburn's history. I'd stand on the top of Corporation Park and look down over Blackburn. And my recollection of being 8, 9, 10, 11 is hundreds. It seemed like hundreds. I think it was about 150, but I think it was hundreds of mill chimneys. And they were belching smoke out. My other memory is being 5 or 6. I was brought up about 800 yards away from here on Leach Street, and about 5 or 6, I remember going down to watch Blackburn Rovers, and we'd go down the back, and the back of the hospital site over there, and under the railway bridge, as people nodding, so you know where I mean. And my memory is blokes in cloaks, because you could hear them echoing on the train tunnel. And they'd finished a shift at whatever mill they were at, and they were off probably by a pub to go to watch the football. And my other memory, just if I can just do the politics, I get in trouble for doing politics, I'm supposed to be politically restricted, but my first political memory was being dragged off by my mother to actually see Barbara Castle on the back of a Land Rover with a megaphone on the corner of Infirmary Street and Mosley Street, I think it was. And the reason I do that is because I want to say something, I want to draw a thread together of my upbringing and the care that is going to go on in this building, because my guess is, those of you that are going to work here and provide care here, you're going to sit down with people who are starting their first day at school, and the moment they're in will be their first day at school, and sat next to them, you're going to sit down with people, and the moment they're in, there'll be a loom, a spinning operative in one of the mills around here. Or one of the greatest care homes I've come across is the one where Ethel had a brush, and what Ethel was doing was walking around with a brush. And actually the great care that she got was not about a plan of activities or an activity coordinator. Ethel got a brush, because that's how Ethel was making sense of the day that she was in. And just to pick up on the diversity of this community, and with some deference to those of you that were born in another country and have come to live in Blackburn with Darwin and made this community yours, what I know about dementia is that many people whose second language is English, when they begin to experience dementia and live with dementia, one of the things that they can be forgetful about is their second language, and therefore they might be back in their village in Pakistan. So the great care that will be delivered will be about the identification and the connection with the people that you will serve from this building. Buildings are a means to an end. The end is the care that people get. And the end we want to give to people, particularly those people with dementia, is to allow them to live their life well, to live a fulfilled life. And if their ambition is to wait for the bus because they're on the 6 to 2 shift at Rowley Mill, and how do you support them to wait for the bus? So another great care home has a bus stop in the garden. And that's where Joe used to go, because that's where he got peace, and if he knew he was going for the bus, he didn't get agitated. So the thread I want to draw together is this wonderful heritage of Blackburn. I was privileged in the time that I was in the Department of Health to be responsible for writing the first national dementia strategy. 2007 I think it was, 2008. And we called that strategy, nothing to do with me, we called it Living Well with Dementia. You very often hear people talking about suffering from dementia, and we took a very deliberate decision to call it Living Well with Dementia. And I think the best social care transforms people's lives. And why does it transform people's lives? Well, it helps them to live a life. I did a speech earlier this week at the National Care Forum, and one of the things that I did do is actually outline what we've found. We've now done 14,000 inspections of care homes using our new inspection model. And the media often focus on what goes wrong in care and poor care, whether it's panorama, dispatches, and other reports. What they very rarely do, though, is focus on what is outstanding care. So at the minute, I'm on a big push to talk about care that is outstanding. And the connection I want to draw together from Blackburn's heritage, the dementia strategy, is the very best care helps people to live a life. And the people that work in there, when I say to them, so what do you do around here? They'll say, I'm helping Ethel to live her life. They don't talk about, I'm delivering a service. They talk about helping to people the life that they want to live, the life that they want to lead. And the best quality care, care that is personalised, enables the people to live full lives. And for many people with dementia, that's the life they want to live, not the life we think they should be living. Really interesting challenge, I think, that presents itself in relation to the work that you're going to take on here. I think that best care also acknowledges difference and diversity. And it uses that difference and diversity, racial, cultural, but just in terms of people's life expectations and opportunities. And it uses that difference to actually drive care which is about the individual, that is focused on the individual, but is about enabling people to live a full life. The best care also run open. They're open institutions. They are part of their community. Helen's here and has given me her book. I'll just plug it again for you. And she reminded me of a conversation that we had a few years ago where she said, I'm doing this and I think this is really good. And I said, how many have you done? She said 6. So this sounds like me, I'm afraid. I said, well, come back and tell me when you've done 20. And in a sense, Neil and Mohammed, I think it's interesting that you've brought this into this building, because my belief is to respect the diversity of each individual, to actually give care which fulfills people's lives. You actually need to think about how you draw on the strengths and assets in the community, to use that phrase. Blackburn is a town of, I don't know it well, I haven't lived here for 18 years, I come back regularly, but this is not something I know the nooks and crannies of anymore. But it is a community that I know has tremendous strength. It's a town where the people are proud, where their dignity is massive and is an important part of them. It's a town where people give their best to each other, where they support each other, and drawing on those strengths, that resilience in communities, because goodness me, hasn't Blackburn needed its resilience over the past 30 or 40 years, as it's had to face some of the challenges that it's had. But turning that round and using that as a strength and drawing on that strength and bringing it into this unit is really what's going to make this an outstanding service and make it really special. Co-production is important, working with the community, asking the community what they want to see, but then continuing that when you open this service and asking the people that are going to be living here what they want to see and how they do it, I think, and this service will change again. It will change again after 6 months, and then after 12 months, and after 18 months. And I hope you won't be talking in 12 months' time about the building as wonderful as it is, but you'll be talking about the quality of service and the way people have smiles on their face. People that haven't spoken for 5 years because of their dementia, they're suddenly communicating with you. The people that make funny noises rather than speak are now saying good morning. And that's the connection which will lead us to know that we've got an outstanding service. Innovate, do things differently, take a chance. This is a regulator saying take a risk. You heard it from me. I'm happy to be held to account in relation to that. Because that's how you'll personalise care. Innovation comes through design, and this is a fabulous design. I'm sure I'll learn more about it. But really do build on innovation in the way that you relate to people, the way you build your care, support and love for the people that you're going to be caring for. So I'm keeping you from your tour. It's a real pleasure for me to come here. I don't think of myself as a guest of honour, rather I think myself as one of you, and I hope that over the next years, both formally, because you get an outstanding rating from us, and informally, I can watch your progress and Neil, applaud your bravery in investing what I think is a shed full of money in a building which I think, Mohammed, from what you were saying, will have many memories for people in Blackburn on this site. I remember when the hospital closed, my dad said, how can they close that hospital? I paid a penny to that hospital. It was a penny subscription hospital. This is our hospital. So I think all these things about the memorial garden with these memorials to the memories that the people that will be living here will have very strongly, I think is hugely important. So thank you very much for the invitation, and I wish you all that are going to work here and support the work that goes on here every success in the way that you care for the people that are going to be your precious treasures over this next period of time. So thank you very much.